Welcome back to the Outer Worlds. So I've moved us over to the primal nest. The plan is to go down here. And to exterminate the primals down here. Wherever they may be. Maybe they're asleep. Can definitely hear something. There they are.
We can handle this.
These guys are nasty. I have no idea what that M thing damage is, and I didn't get to read the whatever it was. But these guys are definitely damaging. That was powerful. Spacer's choice found a flaw in you. During your adventures, things may happen to your character that can trigger a flaw offer. Taking the flaw is optional, but doing so provides you with a perk. The choice is yours. Pithectophobia. After repeatedly getting beat up by primals, you no longer function well when they attack you or your companions. Which will give us -1 dexterity, -1 perception, and -1 temperament. I think we'll reject this one. Or how to get rid of the damage. N-ray damage. Bypasses armor and does damage over time, blah blah blah. Okay. Old reliable. A unique weapon. Heavy weapons. Looks like a submachine gun. Definitely is a submachine gun. Primals seem to have taken care of everything that's in the area. Okay, so that was that part. Now it's just this little place down there left. It's fast travel down there. And then move on over there. I wonder, the reputation with the Spacer's Choice, I'm guessing this will probably stick to our reputation. I'm not sure if it's permanent or if it's just going to be until we can make them happier, but I somehow suspect that we did the wrong choice, or rather that I did the wrong choice. I'll live with it. I know there were primals here earlier. Have they taken a vacation? There's definitely no primals here now, it would seem. Oh, poor sprats. Okay, well, I'm guessing that's it for the planet then. It's time to head on out of here.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome! Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. Edgewater won't last another season without power, but that don't change the fact that I'm indentured to Spacer's Choice. Company expects me back at my post.
Those deserters left Edgewater behind. Nothing keeping you from doing the same.
I have imagined it, but until you came along, I never thought I had the choice. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
I'd be glad to have you along. Pick a cabin. It's yours.
Yes. I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
You do that, Vicar.
Captain, I have detected that the town of Edgewater is now without power. I appreciate you doing your part to hasten their demise.
I thank you for reminding me.
What can I do for you, Captain?
I have a power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. Put it in there. Nick my ankle a little bit.
What can I do for you, Captain?
I've installed the power
All systems
regulator.
are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Hold on, I need to take care of something. Let's just quickly have a look around the ship. Captain's quarters sealed. So, okay, so we have to get up into space before we can open doors.
Easy.
Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now.
Let's get out of here. Against all odds, the unreliable takes flight.
Communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Good, I've been waiting to hear from him.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
I've been feeling a little lightheaded, also I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Why do I need a nav key to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Right, the black marketeer.
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Fine, I'll go have a word with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming.
Thank you.
By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
You want to explain what a holographic shroud is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Why do I need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
That's useful. How the hell does a hologram sweeten your breath?
Science, that's how.
Oh, right. I'll put it to good use. Thanks.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it. So, the unreliable navigation terminal. Where were we supposed to go? Welcome to the system map. I think it showed that before I opened the map. Here you can see all the planets in the system as well as some special points of interest that you may have discovered. You can fly your ship to any location that you have unlocked, though some landing base requires special codes and the keys before they allow you to land there. Moving between planets is considered extremely dangerous and all employees are encouraged to remain home or at work. Yes. So where is this goddess person? She's on the groundbreaker. Okay. I don't need my gun out. Let's go to the groundbreaker then. Well, gee, there was a quest marker there.
Destination reached. The groundbreaker.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, can I open doors
Got a
now?
sec?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson.
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
I thought you said you could keep this boat in good repair.
I abso-surely can. I'm a passing fair mechanic. Even Mr. Thompson would have said it's my only skill. But I'm used to working on cannery lines, AG loaders and the like. There's tricks about ships I ain't learned yet. All I'm looking for is a few pointers. I bet a lady who runs a whole station has forgot more than I ever learned.
Sure, we could head over to engineering now.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Break time's over. Okay, so, workbench. Do I have a spare assault rifle? No, I not. Tinkering, we can do that. Repair, we can do that. Modify, I think we already have the Mag 2 Saturn. Scope, however. I want this one. Install mod. Yes. How about this one? Fun times barrel. Whisper quiet muzzler. Let's install a fun times barrel. Do more damage. Impact hammer we will use. How about this one? Mr. Ouch. Mr. Pow. does the Tinker system work? It will cost 54 bits, and it increases the damage by 2. Sure. Can do that a few times. Now it's getting expensive though. Okay, so let's repair stuff. Go armor. I think we want to break down, yeah. Trick blade. And the security blades. Don't need a shock cannon. Plasma rifle. Probably useful. Don't need the light assault rifle, and we do not need a sort of shotgun. Nor do we need a pistol. As for armor, let's keep have. Now, can we enter the captain's? We can.
You might want to consider changing your clothes more often.
I thank you. Hopefully we can actually store things. Let's put these modifications. Backpack. Oh, armor mod. Interesting. Okay. And we have a terminal here. Messages for Alex Hawthorne. Hawthorne's unread messages from U. Bedford. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message. Silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board-approved, so don't you go showing it around to your spacer buddies. I hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Wink, wink. Udom. Turn to root. Messages for him. Archived messages. Oh god, there is a lot of them here. Dearest Alex, I can't tell you how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comms network for tasty little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you. I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Best friend, Udom. So the sent messages. Okay, look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted. Had a few too many and might have knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink at the Lost Hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. Okay, so let's take a look at the other archived messages. Alex, I don't know where you were raised, but I'd hazard a guess it may have been a barn. Because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere messages of one's friends. Best, Udom. P.S. Please respond. Dear Alex, hello, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear, dreadfully unreliable. Ha, just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed, you know, about the Wells fellow. I'm so sorry to press, but I have the strangest tickling feeling that you really do know him. And if you could just tell me where he is? Well, it would be marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you again, Wingman. Wink. Your dear friend, Udom. And the final one. Dear Alex, hello, Udom here, Udom Bedford. We met when I accidentally impounded your ship. My silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope that wasn't too terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and I tremendously appreciate your forbearance in not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace, well, space, please don't hesitate to look me up. The Lost Hope serves Spectrum vodka. Perhaps we could try every color. You know, really tie one on. Let me know. Your new friend, Udom. And then we have the logs. Log entry 1 titled Shrink Ray. Note to self, remember this later. No, better, ADA, or Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? Back to my point, I saw in actuality with my own 2 eyes a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells' lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the grey hair were to look away or forget about it maybe, or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievement of other scientists who'd dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I had heard rumours of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Wells' shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fellow wonder if there is more to the rumours, or to be had. AH. And then we have log entry 2, titled Hammer Power. The last time I got sloshed, was imbibing at the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. Parenthesis, look, Udom was really free with the drinks. He seems like an okay fellow. Parenthesis end. I shamelessly but subtly eavesdropped on 2 Mardets yammering on about a mad scientist some years back who'd claimed he'd made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us have ever heard that one before. But here is the good part. The Mardets said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat? Sure fits the bill. Could be another one of the weapons that inspired Wells. And log entry 3 titled Black Market Leads. Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast him to the depths of the labyrinth on Tartarus and back. Let the record show I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times. But architect be damned, it's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission or, breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet, and that even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good hard-working folks of the colony like some sort of moralist psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I have been tracking down additional rumours pertaining to others of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. If gossip holds true, my next step will be to check with the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. That was a handful to read. Pick up Reed's hat. Obsidian skull forged under pressure. This decorative skull is carved from volcanic rock. Sometimes, when faced with a choice, the only proper response is to annihilate the people asking you to make it. Cheerful. So, judging by the number of cabins, who are you? Sam. Okay. So, we probably need something to activate this thing. And here's a... something. Photo of Parvati's father, a stern older man with warm eyes. I'm guessing this is her room then. The Modern Steel Wrench and You. This book is heavily dog-eared with doodles in the margins. Few items. Banged up toolbox full of modified tools with unique mechanical usages. Digging around in here would be an easy way to lose a finger to a sawtooth blade. Some pep pills and some ammo and a spade that I don't want. Abigail. The first wrench Dad ever gave me. She's been a friend ever since. Parvati. I'm guessing this is Parvati's bed. The next room. This seems to be the Good Vicar's office. Index of Banned Literature. Part 1. Various Qualifying Considerations. Part 2. Principal Rules of Restrictive Management. Part 3. Morals and Maxims of Banning Unethical Literature. Part 4. Proof of the Grand Architect and Predestination. A refutation of the titles listed here within. Part 5. Consequences, the mind and the will of man when led astray. Part 6. Official list of banned titles. Part 7. Prerequisites for advancing the investigation, outing and penalizing of offenders. Sounds like a cheerful book. And this is an OSI anointment vial, which smells suspiciously like iceberged aged whiskey. He's got some heavy ammo lying around. There's a book, which is the Journal of Maximilian de Soto, Volume 1. The scribblings on these journal pages are utterly illegible to anyone except Vicar Maximilian de Soto. Then we have the Doctrinal Studies 539 of Equity and Equations. These textbooks have been out of print for almost half a century. The margins are filled with scribbled notes and many passages have been underlined. Some pages have come loose, the glue now yellowed and cracked along the spines. Then we have the tossball trading cards in mint condition. Most of these cards represent players from the Hephaestus, Hammers and the Tilebackers. We have the Art and Science of Tossball. Impossible to put down. Order of Scientific Inquiry, Office of Literature. This endorsement has been approved. Auntie Cleo's Darlings. Signed by Seymour Whitlock, who held the record for most on-the-field fatalities for 3 consecutive seasons.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
Whoa, okay. I'd like to know something about those I'm flying with. What's your story?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition.
Violently enthusiastic disposition?
That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
Were they not religious?
On the contrary. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
But weren't they proud when you became a vicar at least?
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
What's this plan you keep talking about?
The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan.
If you can't help but follow the plan, then everything you do is part of it, right?
The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction.
What an interesting, religion. Seems quite trusting of you to just sign on without knowing anything about me.
I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated.
What if the book doesn't have the answers you're looking for?
I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story?
I was a colonist on the Hope. A scientist named Wells saved me.
And how did he do that?
He stole my body from the Hope at the edge of the colony and thawed me out.
Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now?
I'm helping him recover more of the chemicals he needs to save the rest of the colonists.
That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you?
Just because it's the right thing to do.
A commendable attitude.
Tell me again about the book we picked up that's in French.
Baconu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony.
Any ideas where we can find someone who speaks French in this colony?
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Baconu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
A former what now?
You caught me. Listen, the OSI frowns on fraternization with philosophists. I'd like to keep my associations with our scholar friend quiet.
That sounds like a good lead, but how do we find him?
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
How is it that a simple vicar happens to be such a highly skilled hacker?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
So we need to have both of them with us over there then. I'll think about it. Here's an empty room. And another empty room. And a final empty room. The kitchen. Probably the bathroom. And we can climb down here. We have the engine room, the respec terminal. Let's leave our ankles intact. And yeah, I think that's a good place to end the episode. So in the next episode, we'll be heading over there. Thank you all so very much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.